Unfortunately, I'm just one. Hopefully Ryan will be coming to help me out. But in the meantime, back there I was working on raising this up and trying to get this all level across there. The floor joists are higher than the purling because the purling doesn't have any support under it. But this is huge. Let me flip this thing around here real quick. This is huge. How many times have I said this is huge now? It's huge, folks. This is huge.
Hi, we're Bruce.
And Cheryl.
We moved from California to get away from the hustle
And bustle.
of a fast-paced lifestyle
And a not-so-perfect political climate.
to enjoy a slower speed
Better values.
and a rich Christian atmosphere. Join us as we discover our new environment, rebuild our new-to-us home on 2.5 acres,
And enjoy the scenic southern landscape of central western Georgia.
Well, check it out, gang. And welcome back. Bureaucracy strikes again. Yesterday afternoon, I stopped to take my lunch break, sitting down having lunch at lunchtime. And somebody came walking up to the trailer. Cheryl was talking to him, and she says, "Oh, you'll have to talk to my husband." So I got up from my seat and walked over there and said, "Yeah, can I help you?" He goes, "You don't have a permit for this." I said, "No, I don't have a permit for this." He goes, "You need to get a permit. You need to cease and desist. You can't work on this anymore." I'm doing a remodel on my house because I bought an armpit. It's more than just wear and tear. There was a lot of neglect. So we decided to tear it all down from the interior and rebuild it to what is correct. In fact, the way I am, I always go one better. Yeah, that's fine. We'll deal with that, but you need to pay us. We want our share. And so I got shut down. I went and dealt with it today. Apologized to the gentleman that I kind of yelled at yesterday. Me, not to mention the fact that I woke up because a friend of mine had had a bad night because he had basically his house had flooded, and thank God he had flood insurance. His homeowner's insurance won't do anything for him. His flood insurance caps out as barely enough to help him get his property paid off, and then he's got to start from scratch, and he lost everything to the flood. But to add insult to injury, the stuff that was still okay, thieves came in and stole the night before, Sunday night, in fact. Kick a man while he's down. So all that was going on in my head as well. So needless to say, I was not having a good day. And so here we are the next day, and we're shut down. We can't do anything until after we pay our, apparently, a fine on top of a permit fee. It is what it is. But so we're dead in the water right now, and I'll show you the notice I got. I don't know if you can read that. But legal notice, we're shut down until we pay our fine and pay our permit fee. Once I realized that this was going to be this significant, I probably should have gone down and said, "Hey, I ran into these issues. I found out that I was going to have these problems, so I need to get a permit because I'm going to have to go extensive," and just paid the permit fee. But my fear was they were going to tell me that I was going to have to get all this engineering because, I mean, we're all the way down to, as you can see, there's no floors, there's no interior walls, there's no electricity, there's no plumbing, there's nothing, right? You're going to have to get engineering. I'm going to have to pay an architect to draw plans. You know, and by the time it's all said and done, it's going to cost me 10 grand just to be able to spend the $40,000 I was expecting to spend to fix it. And, you know, I can't, who can afford that, honestly, in this economy? So I was frustrated with that as well. And I treated the inspector that came out here, I treated him poorly. And for that, I am sorry, because that's not how a Christian should treat another individual. And apologized profusely to the guy. and let them know that I was sorry. And they're still going to slap me with a fine, you know, it's a given because they had to put a stop notice on it. But I think we made amends. I hope we did, and we'll move forward from here. I'm waiting to hear back from them to find out what my fine and fee is going to be. In the meantime, we took some stuff to the dump and cleaned out. So we cleaned up out front here a little bit, got rid of some of the trash that was, you know, down here on the ground over here and stuff. And like I said the other day, I finished my trench. So you can see that trench that was open before is gone. There's actually a drain down here on the corner where everything can drain into, and once I put my channel drain in front of the garage, it'll all drain into that. You gotta love bureaucracy. When Big Brother gets involved, Big Brother decides you've got too much money on your own and you haven't given enough in taxes, so we need to take more from you. There's a whole reason why I moved from California to Georgia, to get away from that, and it looks like I walked from one into another. All right, guys, so check this out. I'm making blocks so that down this end back here, I can start raising up slowly as I come back this way on the wall. This whole section of the wall has to raise up. It's 5 inches higher in that back corner than it was originally. And this front corner here where I'm headed to was 4.5 inches low to begin with, which means I'm probably gonna be lifting this thing up 6 inches, I don't know. Alright guys, so check this out. I'm making blocks so that down this end back here, I can start raising up slowly as I come back this way on the wall. This whole section of the wall has to raise up. It's 5 inches higher in that back corner than it was originally. And this front corner here where I'm headed to was 4.5 inches low to begin with, which means I'm probably gonna be lifting this thing up maybe 6 inches, I don't know, till we get there. I'm slowly bringing it up across and trying to level it as I go, but I'm having to do it in increments. So this is where I'm headed. Check back with you here in a second. right, switching gears here, guys. Yesterday I was working on raising the back wall. Flip around here, show you. Back there I was working on raising this up and trying to get this all level across there. As you can see, I think you can see in the video, it kind of still swoops down right here. I've got a lot of area here that's got to be lifted up. But it's not a one-man job. It's more of a two-man job, and unfortunately I'm just one. Hopefully Ryan will be coming to help me out. But in the meantime, there's something else that I worked on the other day because of the rain we've been getting and the fact that when it gets too full of rain out here by the garage, the water goes in underneath the garage door and fills the floor in the garage with water, because when they poured the slab, they did not pour it with a pitch. They poured it flat. Actually, if anything, it's got a pitch going backwards by the door because they poured the lip high in the front. So I'm grinding that down. I don't know if you can see that right down here, but I don't know if it shows up in the video or not. It's kind of washed out, but right down there you can see I've been grinding, and I'm going to grind all the way across. I'm also putting in the framing, the forming for concrete down here, because this is getting a channel drain. Let me spin this thing around real quick. So, you can see it a little better there. So I'm digging the trench. This is going to get a channel drain. Runs all the way across here. The other day, what I was talking about is I dug it, well, not the other day, actually going back a couple months, I dug a trench all the way across here. You can almost kind of see where I dug the trench. And here you can see where it ended at the bank. And now you can see the drain pipe in it. And it was basically just overflowing out of this channel that I dug in here. Well, then the other day I dug it out even farther, put a drain basket in here. Let me dig this out so you can see what I'm talking about. Put a drain basin in. And it's a double outlet, or you could say it's an inlet outlet. On one side, this side over here, it reduces down to 1.5 inches. And on this side is 4 inch, and that 4 inch is that pipe that you saw going out. And then I backfilled the trench finally. Started cleaning up this side. Dig them up and pour something around them. Primarily because I believe that was part of the issue with the weight of this extra truss on the mobile home and the garage, with this thing not being properly supported. This I-beam frame structure here that the garage is built on, that the trusses are being supported by, it appears that they dropped. And see if I can show you here. Can you see that crack right there in the concrete? It literally goes from this end of the garage all the way to that end of the garage, as if this whole piece of slab just went when that thing got pushed down. That's my assumption. I wasn't here. I can only assume based on what I'm seeing, the evidence I'm seeing. So I've got to lift this roof structure up, which is part of bringing this whole back bottom plate and wall structure up to get this thing level. When I do that, my concern is that these trusses here on the garage are going to be not wanting to move, so I've got to basically take apart each one of those trusses where it meets that top mounting plate so that these trusses can lift, and then whatever void is created up there, I'll have to fill that in with some solid material so that it's solidly sitting on, and then I've got to support all these beams, or these columns, so that they can't drop anymore. And hopefully that'll take care of all of that. And once all that's leveled, man, the rest of this is a piece of cake. I just have to, there's a lot of steps, but it's a whole lot easier than what I'm dealing with trying to raise this foundation, because I'll tell you, as one man, it's a tough job. And I'm working on it. I'm doing my best. And I'll keep you guys updated as I go along. And once I get the rest of this thing dug out, I'll show you what's going on with that for that channel drain. In fact, there's a piece of the channel drain right there. Those are the tops that go in it. And that thing will run all the way across the front of the garage. Anyway, That's where I'm at. Well, I don't know why, but it seems to be taking forever. It's not like the ground is hard. It's fairly soft, but it's been a long day. Let me show you where I'm at. Tell you that I'm in the process of digging a trench from back there all the way down. Let me rotate the camera here. As you can see, I've only gotten that far, and it's a pretty good trench. Very clean. It's not that deep. 6.5, 7 inches deep. It'll be the first strip of concrete on the new driveway, and it'll have the drain in it. And it will wrap around the corner here, and this side right here will kind of match the other end over there where there's concrete poured underneath the column, faux column. Still don't know what I'm going to wrap these with. Some type of rock, whether it be faux rock or real rock, I don't know. But it is. So I'm just taking a break. Man, can't believe it's taken me all day to get just that. But it gets pretty hot here, even when it's cool, in the heat of the sun, and with the humidity as high as it is, you feel like you're melting. And to be honest with you, it's not the worst I've ever been in before, so I can deal with it. Anyway, it's where we're at. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not convinced. But this is my first ever dry pour. Should have shown you before I put water to it, but they say you put in the dry mix in your form and you finish it. And this I just did like a broom with a paintbrush. And then you mist it heavily and then let it sit an hour, and then you come back and mist it again heavily, let it sit an hour, and then you come back and shower it every hour for the next 8 hours. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm not convinced. Well, if I take a full blade off though, shouldn't I take like half a blade and then we raise it? Because aren't we still just a little off? What's the level say right now? Uh-oh.
We
My
are
camera
still
lens.
down. We need to come up.
Why does my camera do that? Hate that. All right.
So why
try
don't we
it
just
again.
raise it and we can put it here. We'll be fine.
Yeah, if you got to do it, if you got to raise it, do it. That's perfect. So look how much we've lifted this thing so far. All those little blocks are how far that's been lifted up. And what is that block I made was about 5 1/8.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 1/8.
So you still want me to take a little off of it, or you just want to take it up?
I'm just gonna go up slightly and.
So we're almost.
The
I think.
level. Are we going too high?
Are we almost touching again? I can't tell.
I don't know, but we are. Let me get that.
What's that little? What does the little torpedo say?
Where?
This yellow one over here.
That one says that level, but now we're not touching here, which I can slide this down.
I don't want to go too far down though. I don't want too much space between them.
Okay.
Let me see what we got here.
Well,
All right.
I can tap this in with this hammer here. And I think,
I bet you once you do that,
just a little more. take the weight
Maybe
off.
make sure that it's not beyond the outside rim joist.
It's not out here.
Yeah.
No, I'm right to it.
You're right to it?
Yes.
Then you're good. You don't have to go any farther out because you don't want it to protrude, right? So what's this other one, okay?
That's perfect right there.
Okay, all right, go ahead and let the jacks down.
And I'm still have pressure here, but we're still gonna have to go up a
We,
little
we'll
bit.
have to move to the next spot.
Because we still have to, obviously it's falling from
Yeah.
there down. Okay.
So prior, though, this other section to the left, we're now level. So all we gotta do is just keep working our way down.
Yeah.
So that guy can come down. And then we'll probably have to go back outside and readjust those
Yeah.
jacks out there again.
And that is showing beautiful. I mean, I think when we lift that, it will take
It'll
the
probably
rest,
take the rest of it
take
off.
the rest of, I mean, we are literally maybe a
30 second?
16th to an 8th,
16th then?
maybe a 16th,
Okay.
32nd.
Okay.
But yeah, we gotta go adjust those outside. And it's all sitting in blocks now. So. Oof.
Careful getting out of there.
Yeah, it's not much. It's literally maybe 16th.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is my son Ryan. Ryan's giving me a hand. He works for Tranquil Properties here in Georgia. So they do this kind of stuff all the time.
Oh, we don't lift houses.
Well,
we don't lift walls.
You lift decks
Yeah.
and you do remodels and stuff.
Yeah, we do everything.
Got to give Gary a good plug.
There you go.
Doesn't hurt.
Heck yeah. We're in Newnan, Peachtree City, Tyrone. Whew.
So let's go around the back and we got to move over. We're just going to go one truss over, right?
Yeah, do we want to reconnect the couple that,
Oh, the ones that are they touching now, or we need to drop it down, let them touch, and then reconnect and then pull off the other ones? Because I think we only need to remove one more here. Because we're darn near to the deck. You realize that, right?
yeah. Well, that one's still floating. That one's floating.
So if it's floating, we
It's
got to
still
drop it
floating.
down before you can screw it back in.
Yeah, that's still just barely floating.
Yeah. So let's take the weight off it, drop it down. We'll come and screw that in.
And move it over.
Move that thing while we're out there.
Okay. Yeah, we're perfect. Sag in the inside of the house.
That's basically what we're doing on the outside. So we're putting a beam on the trusses to straddle. We're lifting that up to carry the load so that the wall can be lifted. And then we just shift down every time. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to shift it down.
Right here?
Yeah.
Is it
It's your little black razor knife. You left it with your round pencil. I got your pencil back.
Guys, this is amazing. I just can't tell you how happy I am that we got this finally leveled up here. As you can see, I took off some of the temporary panel out there, and getting that leveled up all across here is huge accomplishment. I mean, you have no idea, guys, how big a deal that is. I mean, there's still a lot of mending to fix up, you know, the brickwork that's underneath there that holds up that wall. It actually doesn't hold up the wall, but it finishes off that opening in the wall. The brickwork that's supposed to carry the load of this wall that'll have to be fixed. But this is huge. Let me flip this thing around here real quick. Now you guys can see that better. But when we first bought this place, and this was a mobile home, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the doorway onto the back deck was somewhere right in about here. I want to say these 2x4s right here were part of the doorway opening, or it was maybe slightly over a little bit. But now when I walk outside here, I want you to notice something. See all that rim joist that you can see there? Well, when so the bottom plates, the double bottom plate that you see on top of the rim joist, it was a single bottom plate, and it was a 1x4 with 3/4 inch OSB underneath it. So just the bottom 2x4 thickness was the 1x4 and the subfloor, and that point was so low that the door scraped on this deck when you tried to open it. Now we're up about 6.5 to 7 inches. That rim joist is a 2x8. So now when you go to the back door, you actually step up into the house rather than even level. Actually, not even level. It was probably slightly lower. But getting that done is huge. And so there's the new, but that's the opening for the French doors here. And now everything's pulled up and level here. Now I just got to go underneath and lift the beams, the I-beams, or what we call the purlins up, because they're actually higher than, I can come down here and show you. the floor joists are higher than the purling because the purling doesn't have any support under it. As you can see, well, that one does. It's actually just supported by that. But this guy right here is not. There's space between them. And you can see it. And then all this has got to be just cleaned up. The rest of the floor joists go in, and then I've still got to replace or pull out and redo every one of these floor joists on that side all the way down. So there's still a ton of work to do before I can start putting subfloor down, but this is huge. How many times have I said this is huge now? It's huge, folks. This is huge.
I gotta get out of here, Dad.
Love you. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, guys. So, as you know, in my last video, or the last time you saw me, my son was here and we were getting all this raised up along this back foundation, this back wall, getting all plumbed up. Now I'm down here solidifying this first purling toward the back wall from underneath. Let me take you down there and show you what I'm talking about. Hang on a second.